Got to go to somebody else. Mayfield pulls it down now on the run and going to make it to the end zone for the touchdown. One now. Chubb, running room to the 10, the 5, touchdown. Third down, Hunt breaks a tackle and he's got a first down. Hughes still on his feet. Kareem Hunt breaks it towards the end zone and he's in. Around your hands quickly. Third and goal. To the end zone. It's caught by Injury.
Welcome, everybody, to the DAWGS podcast. I'm your co-host, Clarence Wilson, and with me, as always, my man, R, Ruben Rodriguez.
There he is.
Shaking, man.
There he is. Clarence, we're back at it again, man. We took a week off. Other things happened to pop up. Personally, professionally, we couldn't get to it, but we didn't miss anything, I don't think. Just a few things going on, but it's glad to be back with you, bud.
Yes. We didn't miss anything. We didn't miss anything worth discussing right now. Tonight we're gonna bounce around a little bit. First off, we missed all y'all. Second, make sure that you are checking out all of the podcasts on Believe Land Media. Right now, we know our Cavs are in the final, have a shot for the final playoff spot tomorrow night. Hopefully we're going to see, we kind of agree, hopefully we're going to see the Charlotte Hornets. We don't want
Trey Flop, no.
Yeah, we don't want to give him a chance to go out there and start flopping and eat their way in. And we've got our tribe who all of a sudden is red hot, the guards, who all of a sudden they're red hot. All of a sudden they're putting up, putting up 4 field goals worth of runs here.
Yeah.
So.
They're scoring touchdowns instead of field goals, man.
Yes, make sure you check out All Things Cavalier and
the mic drop, the wrestling pile driver
pod. Yep. Guardians of the CLE and the future Guardians of the CLE.
We're all there for you guys. Pop in. Right. Kids love it, man. They're great. They're fun to listen to. And we're here for you to try to get, it's getting close to football season. The draft starts. For me, the draft starts at all. So
that's right.
Can't wait.
Speaking of the draft, R.
Yes, sir.
Due to the trade for our brand new quarterback, Deshaun Watson, we do not have a first round pick.
We do not.
But our first pick comes up at 44.
For now.
For now. I know in the beginning, when we were sitting at 13, it seemed like it was white out or bust, white out or bust, white out or bust, which seemed to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
Now that we've moved down 31 spots, I did that math right? Yeah. All right. Now that we've moved down 31 spots, it tends to have opened up things a little bit. So I'm gonna start off, Rube. Where do you think they go at 44? What position do you think that they look at? Obviously, we know that it's all going to depend on what happens in front of them.
Yeah.
But what do you think they're going to be looking at?
And it all depends too, Clarence. And hey, folks, it all depends too, Clarence, on how they still continue what happens in free agency. I mean, there's a hold. Once they got Watson and everything stopped it. Yeah, they signed McLaughlin back and they signed Pahorka as the kicker from the Packers, who, by the way, is a hell of a kicker. I think this guy hit like an 82-yarder or something last year. And they short up those positions. I know people talk about McLaughlin. The kid didn't kick badly. It's 15 out of 16 extra points and 16 out of 21 field goals. It was just the kicks that he missed. It's what have you done for me lately kind of thing. But the kicks that he missed were the ones that people had a problem with. Not, there's a lot of good kickers. Look at the Cincinnati kicker wasn't exactly the greatest thing ever until the playoffs. We kicked him when it mattered. So now he's the greatest kicker there is next to Justin Tucker. But again, it all depends, man. If they go out and get, I don't know, do they resign Landry? Do they get Did they make a trade for DK Metcalf somehow, or shore up that position? Me, I've been preaching. Oh, there we go. What I've been preaching is linebacker position. I still think that's a weakness on this team and the defensive line, and I think they may go that way. I see them. I don't want to say they're going to settle for those two positions, because those are two positions of need. They're not going to get one of the high priced wide receivers unless your boy Treylon Burks drops. A lot of people are thinking that he might because of his combine numbers. But they're, again, you got to trust the FO, man. You got to trust the front office. They know what they're doing. Barry's slick. Look what he did getting JOK last year. Anything is possible. I feel, they're going to go defensive line, defensive tackle. They need a stud. I see a kid out there that not too many people are talking about. And, once you get into the second round, you're going to get that. So you're going to get a second round. The tier gets a little bit shrunk. I had very few blue chips drop down to the second round. But there's a kid you got to look at. His name is Travis Jones. He is from Connecticut, of all places. Not the hotbed of college football by any means. But this kid was a senior last year at Connecticut. This boy is 6'5", at 333 pounds, and he is a defensive tackle. He's a nose tackle. He's probably better suited for a 3-4, which we don't run, but that doesn't mean you can't play the kid. This is the kind of kid that centers need help. Clarence tackling, blocking this kid. That's how big he is. He's 334. He's got hands that are like almost 11 inches. I mean, the dude's got bricks for hands. I mean, he's huge. And, and the combine numbers weren't too bad on him. I think on a 40, he ran under a 5 and a 40. For a kid, 333 pounds, that's not too awful bad.
Yeah.
Again, now we're getting to the point, man, where we're reaching here. You may get a Treylon Burks if you're lucky. David Bell from Purdue is another guy that intrigues me because he may drop into the low 40s. It's a good position. If you're going to be in a second round between 33 and 45, it's ideal because you still may get somebody that can probably even start for you. And if you're looking at the wide receiver, the David Bell kid from Purdue, he's kind of like London from USC with great hands. He doesn't have the speed, Drake London will outrun you, but David Bell's one of those. I know you remember Brian Brennan back in the old Browns days. He's a 6'5" Brian Brennan.
Like that.
Yeah, he's a 6'5" Brian Brennan that hangs onto the ball, and he's going to be there when you need those 10, 8 to 10 yard first down plays over the middle. He's not afraid to go over the middle. And again, I'm reaching here. I don't, it takes a little bit more research to see what the team needs and what's available to the team at this point, because now you're starting at 44, maybe starting at 44, working your way down. So, if they're still in the first round, man, we're talking about the Olaves, the Wilsons, and you have it. I mean, you're talking top notch guys that we've heard of before. But this gets a little bit more difficult. I'm looking for, not deeply looking for need positions starting at 44. And defensive line, we all know. We don't know what Clowney's going to do. They need to upgrade that defensive line, and they need somebody that big who's going to play his gaps and hopefully get some linebackers that can make tackles, because we got to stop the run. And we've got to do Tommy Togiai. I know he's in there. This kid is much bigger than Togiai from Ohio State. But, depth is not a bad thing, man.
Yes. So I'm looking at it. I'm kind of in the same boat. At 44, kind of sitting at a spot where, obviously we got to wait to see what falls to us. But I've seen a few mock drafts, and the mock drafts have been all over the place. I'm looking at one on NFL.com, and they have us taking Cam Jurgens, a center from Nebraska. Yeah. Now, if Nick Harris is what they say he is or what they think he is, then I don't see that happening, but it's a little hard to judge. I still think that
I think Blake
unless
can play a little center too. It's just a case.
yeah,
I think. Who knows?
and I'm thinking that I'm still thinking that if Jarvis isn't back by now, I'm almost kind of thinking that maybe this is not going to happen, or maybe they can't come to an agreement.
I think it's the latter. I think they can't come to an agreement yet because nobody else, if he's that special, I mean, he was. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like the guy, but who else is knocking on his door?
Yeah, I've heard him linked to several different teams, but they haven't picked him up either.
No, and there could be reasons for that, monetary reasons, and maybe just sit back and concentrate on the draft first. Maybe draft night's the night, or that draft weekend as a whole will be, when they start making some more moves. But again, we got to trust the process. It's trying to steal something from the city of Philadelphia, but you got to trust the process. You got to trust our front office, see what they're going to do.
Absolutely. To me, I guess I guess we got to wait to see, number one, what Clowney's going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've heard for 2 weeks now that the deal is supposedly done, but nothing has been said by the people that matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard. I heard it was 2 for 24, something like that. That was even before they got the Watson thing done. They were talking about that. But
yeah, I heard the same numbers, 2 for 24. If they bring him back, then I would think that 44 pick, I would think they would go in interior defensive line. That's what I would think, unless there's somebody sitting right there for them to snatch up. Because just based off of this draft, it looks like there's going to be some decent edges there. That David Ojabo from Michigan,
he could be there.
Yeah, supposed to be a solid player. But and then I keep hearing this. If they're looking at wideouts, there's 2 names that I keep hearing that maybe at 44. One is that Johann Dodson. He's not big. Like you know where I'm at. Like,
yeah. And they, like you said multiple times, we've had our share of diminutive wide receivers in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And we need that Braylon Edwards, Josh Gordon type of receiver, man. We just can't keep, and depending on how the new quarterback pans out and how the offense shifts, I guess, what they do will determine if they have anything in mind. Yeah, we need people that can be downfield threats on this team anymore. We can't rely on 8-yard passes over the middle and hope they break a tackle. That those days are gone. Look at the league, man. Nobody's doing that anymore.
The only team that was still doing it successfully really was Kansas City with Hill, and he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe I'm hoping maybe they don't do wide receiver at all. Maybe this is the time that that Schwartz and DPJ step up and claim their spot as the 2 and 3 wideouts. But
and again, that's where the scouts, they get paid good money to do this. They have forgotten more football, Clarence, than you and I will ever know. They may have somebody out there. Look at Dearness Johnson. Whoever thought, he was going to be the player he is. Nobody heard of this kid. Hell, he was out fishing, making money fishing when they found it. And they found this kid. Again, it gets a trust factor. These guys know what they're doing. They've got their eyes on people. It's just hard to pinpoint, man, because we're used to the big names. If you don't go to Alabama, Ohio State, or Georgia, or you pick it, Pac-10, we don't know who you are, basically, because that's not what we're fed. We're not fed that. We're fed big time schools. That's what we see every Saturday. So And then this is what makes it fun. We're going to sit here picking each other's brain. Who are they going to take? What position they're going to take? You want a wide receiver. I want them to shore up the linebacker position. But who knows? Maybe they got somebody in mind in free agents. I can't even begin to tell you who still out there in free agency that would make a. The last one was Bobby Wagner, man, and I was like so pissed when he signed because I really wanted them to get him. And I don't even know who's out there yet. I know Landry is and Clowney is, but other than that, I mean, the pickings are slim as far as free agency goes. But it's exciting. This is like I said, this is the where you make teams in your second, third, fourth round. You find guys, you find diamonds in the rough. Hell, Brady was a 6th-round pick at 199. So, and nobody knew he was going to end up like this. But that's what makes this fun, man. It's like this is the part of the year that, gosh, who is this guy? You start going back now, because especially now as being at 44, you start going back now, trying to look at the YouTube clips of the combine and say, well, forget about this guy because we're not getting him, Clarence. We can forget about this dude. Let's see who this guy was from Savannah State. Let's see who this guy was from Jackson. Who's that team that Deion's coach is? Jackson State. Let's see.
Jackson.
Let's see who these guys got that we might need that aren't, they're not on Sports Center all the time, or that, they could be diamonds in the rough. That's what we're looking. That's why the scouting department is so important on these NFL teams.
Yep. Yes, sir. Speaking of free agents, everything is kind of, like, as we just said, everything is kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
Everything has calmed down. You're not hearing guys getting signed left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Do we make? I guess how do we fill these holes? I'm starting almost to believe that they might go draft heavy, trying to fill holes and maybe sign a couple guys.
Yeah. They're looking at, they're going to need some depth, like you said, even at the center position, because if Nick Harris is all we got, they better have somebody else there. Mm-hmm. That'll be a later, maybe a second or third day pick. Because I'm not saying anybody can go there and snap a ball, because it's probably one of the hardest positions on the field to play. I think they're going to go defensive heavy here. They're going to concentrate on the wide receiver position, because I'm sure with Dearness Johnson, I don't think they're going to worry about. And that's another reason why they probably haven't gone out and gone crazy spending money, because Dearness is restricted. And I think he's got another week, if I'm not mistaken, where if he doesn't get an offer, he can get an offer sheet. He signs the one at the Browns, however that works. But he's got a week to sign another offer sheet with another team, and then the Browns could match it. I think they're going to do that. So I don't think running back is going to be a position that they're going to concentrate on in the draft. If they do, maybe 6th or 7th round, they'll pick somebody as a roster fill or something. But I think they're going to go defensively, because like I always said, that's right now the strength of this team. And they're no dummies. They know how the Ravens do it. They know how the Steelers do it. They just keep improving the best part of their team. And defensively, they started to gel. You saw it. I saw it. We all saw it towards the end of the season. Let's get that unit stronger. And I think they're going to go after some linebackers, and they're going to go after some defensive linemen heavy in this draft. I think they got 10 picks still, don't they? Even though they gave,
I think either 8 or 10, something like that.
Yeah, because they only gave up 2 to Texans in that deal this year. So they probably have close to 8 or 9, still 8 or 9 picks. I think they're going to go heavy defensively. I really do.
I can see it. I mean, I can see it, because there seems to be more holes on that side of the ball.
Yes.
Than there are on the offensive side of the ball. But speaking of the offensive side of the ball,
do we have
to a conversation with some friends? Yeah, got this conversation with some friends. Jed Wells, what's your take on this kid? I put him in the category of being hurt a lot last year, so it's hard to get a read on exactly what he is.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Jed Wells?
I like Jed Wells. I like all these linemen. I'm at a crossroad here, because I am one of those people who who are pro preseason snaps. What I mean by that is, I don't like this crap about, oh, he's a starter. He's not going to play until the third preseason game, and I play him, and then I'm going to sit him. No. And I think I had a lot to do. A kid like Jed Wells, who was young, he just came off his rookie season. What he needs is to get out there and play, man. Injuries happen when you do that. You can't do that. I mean, even the best, even the Super Bowl champions played their starters every preseason game. They didn't sit there. Brady played maybe maybe he played a series or so, but these guys got to get cohesive. This team went and without playing any of their starters on both sides of the ball last year, especially on defense, Clarence. And the first game of the year against Kansas City, they're out there introducing themselves to each other. That can't happen. They've got to get that out of that mentality. These kids need to gel. They need to play together. I don't care if it's a preseason game against Gaudet University and in Washington, D.C. That's a school for the blind. And I don't care who they're playing. They got to get these guys out there. They have to be able to gel together. A lot of that leads to these injuries. You can't put Jedrick Wills out there like you did last year. The kid was just studded his rookie year. As far as I was concerned, he played very, very well in his rookie year. So then let him keep that momentum going. You don't just sit him down. Oh, it's preseason, one of my starters. He's going to sit. I'm going to see what else I got. No, play your starters, man. Get them some game condition. Don't just wait till the first game of the year and say, all right, man, go ahead and do your thing. Because the game's a lot faster, man. And if you haven't played, it's a lot different than even in practice. And so I guess I'm just blowing air here because a lot of people don't agree with me, but I am a proponent of playing these people in the preseason to get that game conditioning. And conditioning is a big factor. And I think that's what got Jedrick Wills last year. He just wasn't in shape, man.
See, and that's what I'm wondering. If you look, to me, it seems like there was a lot of injuries last year, and it makes me wonder, were guys coming back too fast, or were we just that snake bitten where the injuries just wouldn't leave us alone? Because it seems to me like once a guy would get injured, come back, and then 2 weeks later, if not a week later, if not the same damn game, like Conklin, they get hurt immediately right after coming back off injury.
Yeah. And they're soft tissue injuries. It sounds like these guys are getting ACLs and broken fingers and hands and arms and legs. You're talking about hamstrings that last 7 games. You're talking about what do they call this? Bicep. Come on, man. I mean, that's all because these guys, you got to be in shape. You have to be, when you start playing not to get injured, that's when you're going to get hurt. Everybody knows that because you're going to be tentative as hell. That kid played one hell of a season his rookie year. He was very, very good pass blocker. And all of a sudden, it looked like he was one step behind everybody. And it got nothing to do with his ability. He didn't get his weight didn't go up or nothing like that. He was just a step slower than everybody. And that just goes with conditioning and your playing time. I mean, that kid was thrown out there first game of the year, and he's like, I forgot how fast this is. You got to get out there, man. You got to get these guys out, and you got to get them playing condition. I don't care. Like I said, I don't care if it's preseason game 1 or 4 or whatever. You got to play these dudes. You got to get out there and play them. You think Pat Mahomes didn't play the preseason last year? Tyreek Hill didn't play. Stafford didn't play. Yeah, these guys all play. Cooper Kupp, all these guys played the preseason, man. That's what they do. They may not have played the whole game, but get them out there, get them conditioned, get them ready to play. The preseason is to get ready for the regular season. How the hell are you going to get ready if you're sitting next to the coach? Don't make any sense.
Well, you take that, and then also removing preseason games as well. To add on the extra regular season game. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle this year.
So they're doing that. So I know last year they cut it to 3 games. They got that going on again this year. Then play them in all 3 games. I don't care if it's 1 game. Wouldn't you think that would be more of a reason, Clarence, to play these guys if you have 1 less preseason game to evaluate everybody?
Oh, that's what would make sense. You got to get the guys out there and give them a little
Play.
bit of security.
Play.
And get them competition outside of what's going on inside the building. They're only going to go so hard in practice in the building.
Get them out there. Speed. Amari Cooper, how much was he making? 20? You're making 20 million, Amari, but did we forget to tell you that doesn't count for the preseason, right? Get out of here. Get the hell out of here with that, man. Get out there and play, get yourself conditioned, be ready for the regular season. That's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I think we might be able to wrap it up. Do you have anything else you want to get into before we wrap it up?
Man, I'm gonna tell you no, because I'm just waiting for the draft is on the 29th, so we got 2 weeks before the draft starts. So it starts the 28th. So next week we're gonna get in here, and I may have like a better outlook, a better vision as to what they're gonna do here. Because I still think something inside me telling me that something's going to happen before the draft. We're either going to fill a couple of positions in the free agency, or they're going to make a trade. You know who I'm talking about. Detroit is still something that I see them making a deal with. And if that's the case, they could move up to 32. And if they do that, it'll be the biggest heist ever. But we'll see, man. We'll get into it next week. As we get closer to the draft, we'll be a week away. We'll get a better feel as to, what teams are going to do. I know didn't somebody just trade with New Orleans, and Philly made a trade last week or something to flip flop picks?
All kinds of picks.
That stuff's going to be, there's nothing happening in the NFL now, man. Nobody, other than that, everything's been quiet. Everybody's laying low, or I think they extended Carr or something today. David Carr got extended.
Yeah. Yes.
But that's all stuff that next week it'll get a little bit closer to the draft, and then we can just get on it, man. And we'll know. We'll get a sense of which direction they're going.
Yes. Everybody make sure to tune in, because we are going to dive deeper into the draft probably over these next 2 episodes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. A couple of weeks away. The week of the draft, we'll have a special down at the DAWGS where we'll probably have some guests on.
Yep.
And, go over some draft scenarios.
And we could have something going on. Maybe we'll jump in one of the draft nights and get you guys. They go rapid fire. We'll get in here and we'll jump in with everybody while the draft is going on. But listen, folks, if we hear anything breaking, something happens in the middle of the night, no, don't wake me up. I'm old. I need my sleep. But if something breaks right away in the afternoon, we may get on here for 5, 10, 15 minutes and go over what happened. Not that I know anything, my sources ain't any better than anybody else's, but I got a sense that something's going on. And if something does happen, partner, get that link over here. We can join in with the folks and we can give them a what's up real quick.
That's right. That's right. We're going to be your source over these next few weeks for Browns draft coverage. Because we're so used to picking in that first round for so long.
For now, I feel like a Rams fan. We'll have a first round.
Makes it a hell of a lot harder to project what's going on when we're not picking until middle of the second round. So,
I feel like a Los Angeles. I hope I can be like a Rams fan next year. That would be nice.
That'd be real nice.
All right, partner, man. Folks, like I said, like Clarence said, tune in. The sponsorship opportunities are out there. BelieveLandMedia.llc.com. Look us up. We got packages, affordable packages. You guys can all be a part of this. Kevin Sleds. He's the honcho. He's the man, the myth, the legend. He'll get in touch with him and he'll get you guys set up with a real nice sponsorship package, and you can be part of all of our podcasts and our stories and our media that we got going on. Until next week, Clarence, in the words of the greatest donut eating coach we ever had, Frederick J. Kitchens.
If you don't wear brown and orange, you don't matter. Peace, y'all.
Peace.